Hey, I'm Dr. Gates from the Wellness Way Grand Rapids, and today we're going to be talking about your child's gut health because we're seeing a new normal right now, and I literally see children every single week that are struggling in their gut health, and yet we give the same old recommendations to kids every day, all across the board. And these issues are at an all-time high. And parents are looking for answers, they're looking for results, they're giving the Miralax, they're giving the probiotics, they're doing what their doctor says, and it's not working. And so I'm talking to you guys today to really show you guys some different possibilities that you have to take care of your kids' gut health, to bring the results that not only you're wanting as a parent, but ultimately I think can impact them as they go through their life. Because for many of you adults, you're still struggling with IBS that started way back when you were a kid. You're still struggling with the IBS, the IBD, the things that make you feel uncomfortable, sick, and unwell today that you were when you were a kid. And the same thing is starting in your children. And I know a lot of you guys don't want that for your kids. And if it's not the same, good. But we still need answers and we still need results for the children that are currently struggling with this. And here's the common advice that I hear. Give them more fiber, give them more Miralax, and that's going to be something that I see as just a blanketed approach to hoping that it will fix some of their problems. And the same thing with the probiotic. And a lot of you adults that are struggling with your IBS, you've been given the same exact recommendations. And I hate this for you guys because it's a common advice trap that leaves you guys thinking that it's going to solve your problem, so you just continue to take it. Meanwhile, you continue to suffer, and instead of having real results, that means that you actually have good bowel movements, no bloating, no abdominal pain, and actually no brain fog or acid reflux that comes from that. And meanwhile, our children are suffering because they're told more fiber or more Miralax, and it's not solving the issue. The other thing is just the probiotic. Just put them on a probiotic. And a lot of you adults are like this too. And I really hate this. I'm not a probiotic purist. Now listen, I have to distinguish this. I love probiotic strains. I love positive bacteria in our gut, but I don't like just the generic approach of giving everybody a probiotic and assuming that it's going to fix the issue. Because in reality, and I'm going to show you guys this, there's a lot more going on in every single individual's gut than just simply needing positive bacteria. And again, I love positive bacteria for your gut, but there's many other things that we need to take a look at. The other thing is the common excuse of they'll just outgrow it. Okay, they're just gonna outgrow a problem that's making them mentally and physically suffer now, so we're gonna wait years upon years, and meanwhile, we don't even know if they're going to outgrow it. It's just a hope. I don't think that should fly for any single one of you parents, and I don't think it should fly for any kiddo that's out there, especially as we know how much gut health impacts our whole body health, and especially with the mental health issues that continue to impact our youth and as they go into adulthood. So I just think it's ignoring the underlying impact right now. And so here's the limitation, that this advice is typically based on symptoms. It really is. Many times stool testing is not done, and if it is done, it's very limited as in and of itself. And so I don't want to treat the gut like it's just this clogged up tube that they just need to expel everything more. There is a complex system that's very overwhelmed, and especially when it comes to the immune system, needs more help. So here's why general advice fails. There's generally speaking a lack of testing. Your gut health is super complex. It breaks down foods. It gives you nutrients. It has positive bacteria, it has negative bacteria, it has yeast, it has all of these things, all these interwoven parts that honestly impact your immune system, your mental health, how your blood chemistry is. All of these things need specific testing. I don't want just this general approach of, again, here's some Miralax, here's some probiotics, maybe they'll grow out of it. I want specific testing. And more than that, I want comprehensive testing, because one thing that I tell people is that when you get stool testing at a majority of places, they're really, really good at checking in on the things that are going to immediately harm you, immediately impact you, that maybe you need a medication or a surgery for. But what they're oftentimes not looking for or checking for is the common day-to-day issues that leave you with chronic illness. And again, this does apply to adults as well. And so when you're taking the probiotics and you're taking the Miralax, it's not a one-size-fits-all. Specific testing is not a one-size-fits-all. We need to figure out the underlying issues that are going on so that then we can make a plan. Then the other thing is the support for healing. Many of you guys have been to your doctor and your doc has said just go and put them on a probiotic or just go do Miralax, but then also try this FODMAP diet. And many of you guys have felt overwhelmed by just that FODMAP diet or other diets too that have negatively impacted you because you've lacked support along the way. So I do think that there's dietary, lifestyle, supplemental things that if we support you right and support your child right, it's going to be better off. So here's what I call the testing pillar. This is the biggest background. Is number one, we need comprehensive stool testing. Number two, allergy testing, and I'll talk a little bit more on that. 3, supplemental support, and 4, dietary support. These 4 things, these 4 pillars are going to make it so that, and we see this every single day in our practice, that children and adults as well are set up for success when it comes to their gut health. Does that mean that every single problem goes away overnight? Absolutely not. But what it does mean is that we set up the gut to be healthy so that they can live their day-to-day life in a better quality of life, because I know a lot of you adults have been running to the bathroom because you're going to have an urgent bowel movement. A lot of you adults have been bloated beyond belief, and meanwhile you have to go to your job or an interview or meet a special someone on a date bloated, maybe having diarrhea. That's not fun. And then we send our kids to school, and we send our kids to school bloated. Maybe they're having urgent bowel movements, maybe they're constipated beyond belief, and we expect them to sit down and pay attention and have good relationships when meanwhile they're suffering. We need to do better, and I think a lot of it hinges upon these 4 things. So number 1, comprehensive stool testing. I want to showcase a couple of these things here. Number 1, the first thing that I'm looking at is this fecal secretory IgA. This is a main marker that I like to see is how is the immune system responding. It responds to how we break down food. It responds to bacteria, yeast, parasites. If there's food itself that's creating more inflammation in our body, this immune system response is crucial, because so many of you guys have only been tested for calprotectin. And so when that calprotectin comes back 0, you're just given, again, the blanketed approach. When I think that if we were testing for 3 different types of immune system markers, calprotectin, the EPX, and the fecal secretory IgA, we can see, well, where is the trend of the gut? Is it under distress or is it thriving? So this person, this top one, 33,650, that I would say is probably like around average of what we see. But sometimes I do get people that come in and their fecal secretory IgA is above that 7,500. Now 7,500 is where it stops. It doesn't go any higher than that. So the people that are coming through with this, a lot of times the children are experiencing eczema, bloating, severe pain, especially from the belly button down. And that's going to be something that is a huge key indicator to how can we start to work on a plan. Well, we know this child is extremely inflamed. Their immune system is under distress. Now let's test for it. And here's what the things that we can test for. You can test for bacterial overgrowth. You can test for yeast strains. And many people know about things like bacterial overgrowth, SIBO, that's something that you can test for. But then also these yeast strains, they test oftentimes for Candida, but there's other forms of yeast that can be triggering an issue. And so for these children that are out there that are struggling and suffering, their immune system is on fire, they're constantly inflamed, they're feeling all of these symptoms, given Miralax and probiotics, but meanwhile they might have a yeast overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth that needs to be addressed and taken care of, because these things are making an impact on the immune system. And here's something that I always say, is that especially if you're bloated, bloating is a sign that your immune system is getting impacted by something negatively in the gut. And so if you're bloated every single day, that's a sign that your immune system is getting negatively impacted by something every single day. And that's a sign that we need to test deeper to figure out where that's coming from. And again, the children that I see, many times the kids that I see, the yeast is probably one of the top things. Yes, bacteria is there, but I would say yeast is common across the board. If you have that bloating, that pain at the belly button area and below, that is something that I see quite frequently. Some people out there, you could just have your IBS symptoms. Your IBS symptoms could just be caused by the fact that you're not breaking down food well. So this is a patient of mine, and she had this low pancreatic elastase. Now, pancreatic elastase helps you break down your fats, your carbs, your protein, and if you're taking in food every single meal and you can't break it down, that food then disrupts the immune system. Then you're not going to absorb as much nutrients as you need, so you actually might end up more constipated. I see that along with a yeast overgrowth time and time again when it comes to constipation. So if you're not breaking down your food well and that pancreatic elastase is extremely low, that also can contribute to that yeast overgrowth, and it can contribute to the bloating and just the overall IBS disruption that you experience. Let's talk about How do we address the foods you're consuming? So this is the stool test. There's more to it than that, but those are the three main things that I really wanted to highlight for you guys. Foods that you eat every single day can be disrupting your, again, immune system and what we take into our gut. Now, this is a young girl, she was 12, she was experiencing issues with her bowel movements every morning before school. She was experiencing issues with her stomach, being in intense pain when she'd come home from school. And she had these IgE allergies, these 6 IgE allergies: almond, soybean, corn, peanut, shrimp, wheat. Those are things that many of you guys are eating on a day-to-day basis. And some of these I wouldn't even classify as unhealthy foods, right? Many people that are talking about gluten and different things, but what about if they're having corn as a gluten-free product and that's instigating or impacting some of their negative symptoms? Along with this, once we were removing these foods, her stomach pain went down. She was able to actually go to school in the mornings without having inconsistent bowel movements, which as a 12-year-old girl is extremely important. This is where I always want to bring it back to the mental health side of things. If you are having these bowel issues, I mean, I don't know about you guys, okay? But bowel issues can make me feel completely uncomfortable and insecure. And as a young girl, if you're going to school uncomfortable and insecure, the world is already hard enough, and yet she's going to school and experiencing all of these symptoms that the doctor's just giving Miralax and probiotics when something deeper is going on and impacting her immune system. That's a problem that needs to be addressed. This is a young male, age 9. He also had some of the yeast presentation, but these are foods, and I wanted to highlight especially these foods that are impacting his immune system negatively, creating a stress. Now remember guys, stress is not always just mental stress, although that is a big portion. So mental stress is things like jobs, relationships, kids, but when you come back to it, the physical stress, if you're in pain, so abdominal pain is going to be a big type of stressor. If there's a toxic stressor like these or a yeast overgrowth, that toxic stressor is going to bring about issues as well. And if we look at his list, I want to highlight a few of these: banana, eggs, chicken, oat, tomato, turkey, wheat, cow's milk. These are things, again, that are staples in a lot of children's food, but was creating a problem in his gut. And in fact, his was this top one here of this 3650, creating inflammation that was disrupting his gut, that then the foods that we were able to look back on, I was able to tell the parents, look, stop eating these foods because the immune system needs some time to help him heal. If you are giving yourself a paper cut every single day, your finger is not going to heal if it's in the same place. The same thing applies if we're giving ourselves a metaphorical paper cut internally by eating foods that are consistently impacting our immune system negatively, then that's going to be something we need to work on. Now, so foods is a big one. How we consume it, that's easier to control. Our gut health is easier to control. Our mental stress is not as easy to control, but our mental health, our mental stress becomes a lot more better when you're not impacted physically by the things that I just showed you. Supplemental support, so this is that third pillar. We want to base it off of testing. If you have high inflammation, you have yeast, you have bacteria, the thing I love about the stool test, and I can show this another time, is that it actually tests the bacteria against some active agents that could kill that off the best. So testing is going to be efficient in terms of how we're going to effectively help somebody with a plan, whether it's supporting their immune system, calming their immune system, taking these things away, supporting their body with the right supplements allows us to not take 20 different supplements, which is, I know, a big fear for a lot of people, and I don't like doing that. We don't need 20 different supplements. We need specific supplements that are based on testing. If you're gonna take supplements, they need to be consistent. You can't just expect something to work 1 week, take it off for a week, and expect it to keep working. Supplements do need consistency. They do not work like a medication where they force your body to do something. You need to take supplements consistently to actively address the problem. Now, does that mean you need to take it over 3 years? No. I like a good amount of progress within the first month of me seeing my patients. To be honest, I usually shoot for at least 50% of progress, but that does take consistency. Now, the goal is to decrease supplements over time. If you can decrease the supplement need over time, the body's actively healing. You don't need to no longer, and now part of that is going to be coming from the fact that we're eliminating the stressors, working on dietary things, but the goal is to decrease over time. Here's some supplements that I use in my office. Now, I do not want you to go and run these, please go and run and buy these. You can, but I really want to highlight the testing first. Because let's say you take these, you take them for a week, you're just going to end up being frustrated if you don't know why you're taking them or if they're even addressing your issue. So, enzymes. If you're struggling to break down food with this pancreatic elastase, enzymes can be extremely useful to help you break down the fats, the carbs, the protein, which again, remember, that could be the one thing that some of you guys are dealing with, and I see it especially within kids. Albizia, helping to support that immune system, calm that immune system, that histamine production, creating an issue within our kids day in and day out, and especially when you talk about other conditions when it comes to mental health, the histamine is a big part. Chamomile, some of the time, especially with constipation, that smooth muscle in the gut is so restricted that chamomile can actually help calm the body when it comes to smooth muscle, but also when it comes to the gut health in general, helping the immune system to work better so that some of this stuff can move through at the appropriate way so that we no longer have that constipation. Lastly, dandelion root. I love dandelion root because not only, something that you should keep in mind, guys, bitter is always better for the gut. Your gut thrives off bitter things, and dandelion root is a bitter herb. It's something that can help support positive bacteria. It can help support fat breakdown. That bitter quality in the herb can impact the gut in a very positive direction. And so dandelion root I like a lot for that factor, not only supporting the physiology of the gut, but also helping in those things like fat breakdown and other things. Now here's some dietary support. And these three things, guys, if you can do this every single day, you're setting a lot of the gut health up for success. Now, keep in mind, this will not work for everybody. I do not expect it to solve all your problems, but it's something that the gut needs to help be healthy every single day. Bone broth. Getting good nutrient support within bone broth that has collagen that's going to help that gut lining heal a lot. You need collagen to repair that gut lining. So especially if you're highly inflamed, bone broth can be very effective. It can also help the immune system side of things. Aloe vera juice, also helping to repair that gut lining. It's something that I always tell people, tell patients and their parents is, imagine, you have a sunburn, you put aloe vera gel on that sunburn. Now imagine that sunburn being internally because your body's so inflamed that aloe vera can be doing the same thing internally. Lastly, sauerkraut. This is where we can get those positive probiotic strains. I love sauerkraut. This is one of my favorite brands because it allows your body to get positive bacteria as well as prebiotics, which I find lacking in a lot of people, to support that positive bacteria. So these are the pillars of digestion. Now, normally what I like to see is about a quarter cup of sauerkraut a day, a couple ounces of aloe vera juice, and about a cup of bone broth a day. If you can start that with your kids now, you're setting their gut health up for not only good habits, but also allowing their body to get what it needs and their gut get what it needs so that it can adapt to the stressors that it's on day to day. And that's what I tell parents all the time is, look, this isn't necessarily going to address everything. But what it is going to help is your body to adapt to the stress that is under day after day after day after day. Even if you guys decided, hey, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna eat a bunch of Oreos, Taco Bell, all this kind of stuff. Look, that's up to you guys. But at the very least, do this too. At the very least, set your gut up for success, but at the same time as you're destroying it, because then I know at least you're not destroying it as bad. So, we have a little bit of a different perspective here at The Wellness Way. I don't like blanketed things. I like a specific approach. And the biggest things that I want to base that specific approach on is proper testing, proper dietary support, proper supplemental support based on your kiddo's needs. And so that again can apply to you adults. But the reason I'm so big on helping these children that are struggling with the gut health is because they go through their whole life from what's set up when they are developing as a young child, and if they're in pain, they're hurting, they're struggling, they're suffering, they're insecure, they are uncomfortable, especially around their friends, their family, that is going to shape them and who they then become. And that's why I'm so big on helping the children in their gut health, because I think kids are just written off a lot of times. We're giving them Miralax, we're giving them probiotics, instead of specifically looking at them as a human and saying, look, you deserve better and your gut health matters, especially as you age. Here's what I need to teach you so that you can be healthy as you age, because we know how much the gut impacts the whole body. So this is the Wellness Way approach to gut health. If you need specific help, click the link and we'll help you out. Can't wait to see you guys soon.